What's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again to Growth, grassrooting our wealth, tradition, and heritage. As always, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment to the video. And when you do subscribe, be sure to hit that notification bell so that every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Hey, today I want to bring to you guys an article out of the LA Times. And if I have time, I'm going to segue over to another article. But this is about Black Lives Matter co-founder. And the title of the article reads, after quitting BLM, co-founder Patrisse Cullors is healing. Quote, I really thought I was going to die. Now this article came out January 13th of this year. And if you don't know, Patrisse Cullors, like I said, was one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter. But I'm gonna get to the article because it's interesting that this came out in January, but then a few weeks later, another article come out. But check this out. Patrisse Cullors cries when she remembers the fear that she felt while checking into treatment for a mental breakdown, how she prayed during the entire ride to the facility. She said, I really thought I was gonna die, said the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Global Network. I thought I was either gonna get killed by crazy white supremacists, they're gonna show up to my house, or I was just gonna kill myself. I was really preparing for death. Cullors had endured threats and criticism for years, but the turning point came in April 2021 when news outlets reported Cullors had been on a personal $1 million real estate bond binge. She was denounced by the usual critics on the right, but the stories also generated anger from outside the movement, including from inside the movement, including from family members of people killed by the police. Cullors denounced the report as misleading, but stepped down from Black Lives Matter Global a month later. 5 weeks after that, in July, she entered treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder. Here's the thing. Let me say something about this. Black Lives Matter. One, you create an organization that's supposedly for Black lives, because Black lives do matter. Although you didn't do it for when there's crime in the community, because it happens. People get mad when you say, when people say, what about black on black crime? I understand getting upset about it, but then again, you should be upset. You should take heed to what it's saying, because they say crime is, what do you call it? Is location, like location based is whatever, it's about being who you're familiar with. But again, why you gotta commit crime? Why do you have to with anybody? If you're familiar with, and proximity, crime is proximity. So, but still, why you gotta commit crimes to people that are, just commit crimes, period. Why you gotta commit them to your own people? So they don't say anything, but then when somebody else do it, now we get upset when really we should be upset, all the time. So anyway, my thing is you create an organization that has pretty much dismissed the patriarchy of the community, the father figure, the masculine heterosexual male of the community, the one who pretty much holds it down, who sets the standard, makes the laws, and enforces the laws, and can with with a stern fist, as you might say, with a heavy hand, or what have you. The women over here, they could be delicate, they could be, they can have leadership qualities, or or what have you, but the man, the patriarch, is supposed to be the head of the community. Any great nation, community that you see that's in power or stands strong, is ran by a male. Like I say, it's in the Bible. That's the way it's supposed to be. But anyway, I'm not gonna get too deep into that. But again, you create an organization that pretty much denounce the man and the man's role in the family. Your website had talked about family, but there was no men on the website. You denounced, like I say, things like patriarchy, saying like how it was just, just old school, and and this needed to be pretty much abolished. All I talk about Black Lives Matter. How can you say Black Lives Matter, but if you have no men, you can't create lives. Just like if men try to do the same thing and you have no women, you can't create lives. So why does it only matter just a little bit, but you don't, look at the whole picture? So anyway, so you have these LGBT women who are running an organization. And I'm just going to say it like this too. This is not for you. As much as, men have a place, women have a place. Everybody has a skill set. Everyone has a role. But there's some things, which means that there's some things that men are not suited to do. And there are some things that women are not suited to do. You got somebody who thought she could run the organization, thought she could take the heat. And the way this article was reading, she couldn't. Is it because it was too much for her? Is it because she was afraid that some white people were gonna come kill her? Or was it because she got scrutinized because your organization raised hundreds of millions of dollars and nobody knows where the money's at? Continue. When the larger construct that you invested in abandons you, where do you go? I think that's what I'm really trying to figure out right now. Color said, I'm in this place where I'm trying to heal what happened while also making sense of it. It says Black Lives Matter begins a rally crowd on July 13, 2013 after a Florida jury acquitted George Zimmerman in the killing of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. Alicia Garza, an Oakland activist, posted what she called a love letter to Black people on Facebook, writing, "Our lives matter." Colors, a friend of Garza, replied with the now ubiquitous hashtag Black Lives Matter. New York activist Opa Tormenti then used the words while building a digital network of community organizers and anti-racist activities. The simple phrase struck a nerve, allowing Colors, Garza, and Tormenti to rally other activists and form the Black Lives Matter global network with chapters nationwide. So it took on an urgent meaning in 2014 when unarmed Mike Brown was gunned down by white police officers in Ferguson, Missouri. BLM now described the movement, not just a namesake organization or numerous like-minded groups protesting under the Black Lives Matter banner. The movement and global network broke through in 2020 following the death of Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia and George Floyd in Minneapolis. Millions of dollars flowed into the network, and polling showed that for the first time, most Americans expressed some support for the movement. By then, Garza and Tormenti had left to lead other organizations, but Color stayed on, determined to build out the Black Lives Matter global network infrastructure to meet the moment to corral a loose network organization under one umbrella. So she said, I come from flat models where we all do work and there's no hierarchy. See, like I said, that's where the problem is. Again, in any organization, in any community, in any home, any business, any team, you name it. Anything that's successful, or hell, even unsuccessful, anything that's successful, you have a hierarchy. There's no such thing as everybody's equal. When everybody's equal, things do not get done. You can look at, let's say like Bill Gates, and I don't know, like, and cats like that got these billion-dollar corporations. And when they when they have partners, you can say, it's like three of us maybe partners in the business, but Bill Gates got 51% of the majority vote, and everybody else split it. So that means if everybody got 33, then one person got 34%, because you got that one person that got that final vote. That means I had that vote to where his vote matters more than everybody else. That's what hierarchy means. That's the wrong hierarchy. But you got a group to try to make hierarchy look like a bad thing. Like family. Like family is a bad thing. Like having a man in the house is a bad thing. I come with flat models where we all do the work and there's no hierarchy. Because y'all women, y'all LGBTQ, that's why y'all look equal, because y'all want to, all want to be loved and respected. Who started in the arts and local organizing in the arts. Remember that. We're gonna come back to this arts thing here in a second. She now sees value in hierarchy. that's rooted in collaboration, but it's very clear on roles and responsibilities. Very good. See, that's what that. See, now she sees it. She's out of the Black Lives Matter organization. Now she understands the importance of hierarchy. But you created an organization that didn't believe it, and so now we're going through. You raise a lot of money, and it's going to be the downfall of this organization once they figure out where all the money's at. Because regardless if you what you call it, non-profit or not, oh, when you're making hundreds of millions of dollars, if you're in the church, oh, they're gonna come looking for you. She hired a non-profit service leader, the Tides Center, to manage the organization's back office and accounting. Then, in a controversial step, Cullors assumed the role of executive director. Lastly, she created two arms of the organization: the Black Lives Matter Political Action Committee to engage in politics, and Black Lives Matter Grassroots to oversee the organization's chapters. The sudden reorganization exacerbated the simmering tensions within the group. In December 2020, 10 local chapters called themselves the BLM 10 published an open letter claiming that Cullors became executive director against the will of most chapters and without their knowledge. So she became a leader, and nobody wanted her to. And actually did it behind closed doors. Things like this happen when a lot of money is involved. You have a few dollars here. I mean, it could be a few $1,000s. Once you start seeing more money than you've ever seen before, people start to, let's say, the true person comes out. So towards you, they start acting funny. They also claim the chapter organizer had been prevented from informing the direction of the group, and that most chapters have received little to no financial support from Black Lives Matter Global Network since the launch of 2013. So now, you have raised, let's just say $60, $90 million, and you get all these chapters that you created, and they say they have got little to no support. Let's continue. 4 months after the opening letter, the New York Post reported that since 2016, Cullors has spent an estimated $3.2 million on 4 properties, 3 in Los Angeles and 1 outside of Atlanta. The story noted that $90 million of the Black Lives Matter Global Network raised in 2020 and questioned how much Cullors earned as its head. Other outlets, including the Washington Times and Fox News, published similar stories within days. Takeaway for many readers was that she had purchased property using the movement's money. But Cullors said that she didn't. Let's see, she said she only got $120,000 from the group. Again, word of millions. Well, you know what? First of all, you're working for a nonprofit, so you really shouldn't be getting millions of dollars. You know, it's just like they say with a preacher in the church. You know, if people giving money to the church for their tithes and offerings, it should be going to the community, not to the preacher's pocketbooks, or to build him a big house, or to have, you know, a house full of custom suits and stuff. I mean, but you know, if you sell books and do speeches and stuff and make all that money, that's all fine and dandy. She said she pointed out she had 2 lucrative book deals, one of which produced a New York Times bestseller, memoir in 2018. She signed a production deal with Warner Brothers in 2020 to develop programming for children and young adults, which, you know, we ain't seen or heard no shows. Then she got another deal with YouTube, does public speaking, operates an art gallery, remember the arts, in South LA, and teaches at Prescott College, a private liberal arts college in Arizona. One of the biggest dreams for Black folks is land and home ownership, Cullors said. I knew that in order to have a certain level of stability, I want to own a home, and I also want people in my life to have access to home ownership. It means that I co-finance homes, and I supported folks to be on the path of home ownership. This isn't new. Black women are often the primary breadwinners, supporters of our family members and community. Why is that? Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. You should have said Black women are often the primary breadwinners and supporters of our family members and community members, but it should not be. It should be somehow we need to find a way to see what's going on. You know, I'm gonna say like this. I work in the medical field. I've worked in hospitals, clinics, what have you. And we can go beyond that, just any other store, any other businesses that I frequent. I noticed that there are very few men working in these facilities. Let's stick to the hospital. There are men, no heterosexual, Aboriginal American men that work there. Not many. But the majority of them that I see, the majority of the men, especially us, that I see that are working in these hospitals are LGBTQ people. I wonder why. You know, so I ain't saying they ain't qualified, but I'm just saying it just seems like, the question is, where are the straight black men, or just the men, period, in these you know what I'm saying, in these jobs, these careers? That's the question. That's where some of this Black Lives Matter money should go, to investigate. You can create jobs. You can create, companies, schools for these young brothers, young boys. Since black women are often the primary breadwinners, it shouldn't be like that. I mean, you don't see any other society where their women are the primary breadwinners. Only ours, huh? So if that's the case, like I say, it's something going on, and it ain't. And I mean, it's a lot deeper than just, saying this and just glossing over it. That's a problem that needs to be fixed. So really, like I said, if Black Lives Matter, then you need to start with the head of the Black life and make sure that we can get them back on track, get us back on track. So that way we can get our community back on track, because undoubtedly, if black women are often primary breadwinners and supporters of our family members and community members, that's a problem. Because have you seen our family and communities lately? A conservative group called the National Legal and Policy Center ultimately took credit for investigating Colors' finances using public records and releasing the information to media outlets. The damage, however, was done. Yeah, pretty much, because again, it's not, first of all, you bought houses. It doesn't matter if you use your own money or not. The problem is money has been donated and nothing has been done for the community. I read articles about Black Lives Matter all the time. I read articles from all over the country about our communities. And I cannot recall finding an article where it said, hey, Black Lives Matter donated so much money to this community, and they help create, schools, help create jobs, help build houses, help rebuild a community. I ain't seen it. That's the problem right there. You can have, you may have all kind of deals and making all kind of money over here. But when the world knows that all this money that you got over here, a smart person, a person who a leader, is going to understand. Man, a non-emotional person is going to understand, I can't touch this. I want to do this, but let me just wait until we take care of this. I read something where somebody was like, they was helping in the community. Man, who was that? I wish I could remember. It'll come to me. And they said that their own parents were like, wasn't rich, living like basic, maybe like living in a tent or something. But they had all this money. They said, until my goal is to make sure my whole community is taken care of. I got money to where my family can live. I put my family in like mansions, big houses and everything. They can live lap of luxury. But it was a guy, and I can't remember his name, but he said, until I fix my community. No, I don't think it was Muammar Gaddafi. Was it Gaddafi? It might have been Gaddafi. I think it was. Well, anyway, I had to look into it, but it's saying until, and we know, and it said until my nation is right, what I'm saying, my people, my family, they're gonna have to just wait. But like I said, this is a person who just wasn't really a leader. So let's look at this here. In the aftermath, Samira Rice and Lisa Simpson, both mothers of sons killed by police, released a statement calling on Colors, the organization, and other activists under the Black Lives Matter banner to, quote, step down, stand back, and stop monopolizing and capitalizing our fight. Simpson, whose 18-year-old son Richard was killed by LA police in 2016 in the Nickerson Gardens housing development, held a news conference outside of a Los Angeles property owner owned by Colors. Quote, Black lives don't matter, your pockets matter, she declared. Y'all come into our lives and act like y'all got our back, and y'all want to say Black Lives Matter. Simpson continued. But after we bury our children, we don't see B, L, or M. But y'all out here buying properties. 6 weeks later, Color stepped down from the Black Lives Matter Global Network. Color's mother was relieved. She's seen how miserable her daughter was. I thought to myself, need to get away. And yada, yada, yada. Stories about the fans of the Christians one name, just a character assassination attempt. Yeah, again, it's money. Like I say, it's money. You got millions of dollars and no one knows where it's going. So it's like, what you expect? As for tensions between the Global Network and its chapters, Color said she was attempting to give the BLM Global Network the structure needed to manage tens of millions in donations. She also said that since publishing the open letter, 4 of the BLM 10 chapters have accepted funding from the network, $500,000 each. So I had to write a letter in order for them to get $500,000. Representatives of the BLM 10 declined to comment. In addition, a report released by the Global Network showed that the organization ended 2020 with a balance of more than $60 million after granting $21.7 million to BLM chapters and other local organizations. An additional $8.4 million was spent on operational costs, as we know the will. So basically, after you did all, they still got $60 million worth of going, and that's why they investigated you. And this is what that started. You know what I'm saying? That added to your attention. And then, you got, now you feel like you got PTSD because you think white folks, you probably think black folks gonna come out there because you're raising all this money, and then you're not giving none to the community. But I'm not gonna read that whole article. I'm gonna let y'all go back and read. I'm gonna let y'all go read that because I want to jump over here real quick. Give me a couple minutes and talk about this Daily Mail article, which came out in, say, February 1st. Was it February 1st? Yeah. It came out February, that's the day. Let's see. No, January 3rd. And it says Black Lives Matter, quote, transferred millions to Canadian charity run by the wife of co-founder Patrisse Cullors. Remember Patrisse Cullors? We just read about her. To buy a Toronto mansion formerly owned by the Communist Party. Now, they consider themselves Marxists, which is, I guess, is whatever. But I'm going to real quick say Black Lives Matter Canada in the summer of 2021 purchased a 3-story Victoria mansion in Toronto to turn into a 10,000 square foot arts center and meeting space. The $6.3 million mansion was bought by M4BJ. What's that? Money for Blow? No, a Toronto-based nonprofit set up by Janaya Khan. You know who Janaya Khan is? She's the wife of Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors. Remember Patrisse Cullors? We just read about her. Remember, she got PTSD. On Saturday, the New York Post reported that the funds for the art center, named Wild Seed, were provided by Black Lives Matter Global Network. Now, why is it that we do not hear Black Lives Matter Global Network provide funds to anyone in the community? If you can tell me different, prove me wrong, put it in the description box. I'll be happy, also happy, to retract anything I say, because I ain't gonna say I love being proved wrong, but I'm like, I'll take it. Cullors was executive director of the group until she resigned in May 2021 amid scrutiny of her $3.2 million property empire. On Thursday, the Washington Examiner reported that no one seems to know who was currently running Black Lives Matter or managing the group's $60 million funds. So somebody there's $60 million sitting somewhere, and somebody walked away from it. And so it's just sitting somewhere and nobody's controlling it? Really? Interesting. But anyway, this article talks about how they bought this art center. It was formerly owned by Communist Party. You remember, with these two Cullors and her husband and wife, Khan, I think they are supposed to be Marxists or something like that. What's that? Khan describes himself as a black, queer, gender non-conforming activist. Pronouns they, them, theirs, staunch Afrofuturist and social justice educator who presents an enlightening point of view on police brutality and systemic racism. You want to stop systemic racism? Put money in your community. Teach. Build schools. You can build one. You don't have to be, just bought a big ass house. Turn it to a school. Forget an art school, because art ain't gonna put money in nobody's mouth. Forget somewhere where to meet create something to where people can do AI, because that's about to take people's jobs. You got these like warehouses down here. I think it's 2 of them in the Dallas area. South of Dallas, they building. I think Walmart building like 2 warehouses where the majority of the work is going to be done by computers. Automated. Everything's going to be automated. So you're not going to have jobs. So you got people crying about, not crying, but, stating that we don't have no livable wages. There's an article I just saw that said that the minimum wage in Texas isn't livable. Experts. Like, who the hell need an expert? I know damn well $7.25 you can't live off of. Like, what was it, 10 years ago, I was making, $12 an hour? I could barely live off of that in 1-bedroom apartment. Are you crazy? And trying to co-parent, with their mama and trying to go to school at the same time, $12 an hour ain't nothing. That was like, say, 10 years ago. And now minimum wage is $7.50 or $7.25, whatever. Hell no, we know it ain't a livable wage. So you know what you can do, Black Lives Matter? You can create programs to where you can teach young boys, young heterosexual boys, and whoever else you want to teach how to do trades, how to create computer programming, how to create apps, how to program, to teach them about AI, learn about AI. Stuff like that, because that's where the money is going. That's how you combat police brutality and systemic racism with the money. With the money that you have, you put it back in your community so it can help it grow. Not just buy houses and mansions and shit, and people aren't, and don't nobody know where the money is, where it's going. Yeah, the property at 24 Cecil Street is home to Wild Seed Center for Arts and Activism. Khan is not listed among the executive team or staff of the site. They say Wild Seed describes itself as a vessel that seeks to nurture Black radical creation in Canada. This is why this is worse than putting Black folks on a stamp. We're putting Black folks on the back of a quarter. You know why this is worse? Because this is your own people. It's symbolism by your own people. I'm going to create something that a Black radical creation where people can come and visit and talk. And we can say, wow, we did this. But it does nothing to benefit. And the only way you can benefit your own community is like I said, create programs, put money back in the community, so that the community can grow and thrive. Throughout opportunities for space booking, collaborations, and art fellowship, our hope is that Wild Seed will be the kind of space, and our hope is that it will be the kind of, they just wrote this twice. Okay, I'm sorry. They I don't know who edited this. Be the kind of space that we wish we had when we began the agitations that so fundamentally shifted this city. The city of Toronto provided the Wild Seed Center with $250,000 Canadian dollars for capital upgrades. What? And you got the money? Said Councillor Mike Layton, who represents the district in which the mansion sits. Man, I'm not gonna stay too much longer on this. I'm gonna let y'all read this, because this is crazy. They said, let's see, what does it say? The most recent, I'm gonna read these last 2 paragraphs. Last week, charity auditors expressed alarm at the management of Black Lives Matter $60 million in donations after it emerged that people announced as leading the organization never took up the role, and no one seemed to be able to say who was handling the finances. The most recent tax filing for the charity from 2019, it's 2022, gives the address in Los Angeles that does not exist, and the 2 remaining BLM directors identified by the Washington Examiner were not able to assist, with one even scrubbing BLM associations from his social media after he was contacted by the paper. They are yet to file a 2020 return of Form 990 as required, which could see BLM fined by the IRS. This thing goes deep. This thing goes deep. Now I want to talk to the people that donate the money. Look at her. Your best bet, in closing, if you want to donate money to your community, make your community better, buy some books. Buy some books for your kids so they can learn how to invest money, learn how to invest in properties, financial literacy. Buy books, like I said, to where they can learn how to be programmers, computer programmers, learn about AI, learn about crypto, learn about NFTs, learn about anything that has to do with a computer, to where they can get paid using the computer, real money. This is how we do it. When someone in your community does a tragedy, we talk about people that die and they do a GoFundMe page because their family does a GoFundMe page because they don't have the money. Yes, we gotta tell people, get life insurance policies, get them on them, get them while you're young, in your 20s, get them on your kids while they're babies, get them on yourself while your kids are babies. Get them on your kids too, but get it while you're young so the cost won't be so much and it just comes out automatically every month. And like you never see that money because you're gonna die. And it's best to die and leave your kids something, leave your offspring something so they can use that money, so they don't have to start at the bottom like you did. Nobody wants to start from the mud. I hate mud. Mud tastes. Only thing that like mud is pigs. Pigs like mud and slop. Can't brag about the mud. That's the way we're going to build our community. Not through these organizations like that's really started by George Soros or funded by George Soros. Or, funded by other people besides Aboriginal Black Americans. It's just not gonna happen. Other people that does not believe in the family structure, doesn't believe in the patriarchy or hierarchy. It's just not gonna happen. Never will. We got out the church, and the church has changed from when our parents and grandparents went. They actually did stuff in the community for the most part. But it was a little easier and a little cheaper to do it back then. Now inflation done just killed everybody. So it's kind of hard to do things without, and really be noticed because the dollar you put in today ain't the dollar you put in 50 years ago. Houses, I was reading a story. What was I reading? Reading this book about a biography about Pimp C. He's like one half of the rap group UGK. And it was talking about how his mom and his dad or maybe stepdad, one of them, they bought a house in Port Arthur, Texas back in the 70s. And it was like I think a down payment was like $10. And the monthly payment was like $70-something a month. And when you look at it, it's a nice size house. But nowadays, that house like that, you probably get down at Port Arthur, maybe you might get $200,000 for it, but maybe more than that. But still, that's another tangent. But again, we want to build a community, we got to do it ourselves. We can't rely on these organizations to do what we know we should do and then get mad when they don't do right, because it's just the history of it. Most of the organizations don't do right. If you see somebody like they got a problem, just donate to your own community. Like I say, somebody died, do a GoFundMe page. I'd just rather go ahead and donate to that than to this, because I know this ain't going nowhere. This is a GoFundMe. I know somebody gonna get buried and the kids gonna get some money and they're gonna be, what they do, I don't know. But do stuff for your community. That's where you start. What they say, charity starts at home. In your community, you fix your house first, then your street, then your neighborhood, then your block, and then your city, and you'll just grow and grow. And if everybody does that, do you know that eventually it's gonna touch, and everybody is gonna cross over, everybody gonna cross paths, and then it's gonna be blessed. It's gonna be so amazing. Anyway, let me get off of here because I spoke enough. Yeah, I'm gonna put these 2 articles in the description box below. Make sure you read them both, because I want y'all to give me your comments on this, what y'all think about it. Hell, I want you to even do your own video about it. And how do you do that? Click on the TubeBuddy link that's going to be in the description box. Start your own YouTube channel. TubeBud's a great way. It gives you like ideas, give you keywords, phrases, so you can find content. There's no current content, things that people are talking about. So people click on your your channel, you get more views, get more subscribers. And you know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. You want to help the channel, help donate to the channel. Click on the website below and buy some merchandise. You know, I mean, you can. Now, if you want to donate, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I take donations. Not saying I won't, but if you rather get something tangible in return, click on the website. You can buy some products, and it could be like an even exchange. But with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'll leave you the same way I always come with you, and that's